Commander Liam stood at the edge of the landing platform, his boots pressing lightly against the smooth metallic surface. Zarathia stretched before him like a dream. The sky was a strange greenish hue, and 3 suns hung in the distance, casting soft golden shadows over the vast landscape. Towering trees with silver leaves swayed gently in a breeze that smelled sweet, like flowers mixed with rain. Liam adjusted his visor and took a deep breath. This planet was unlike anything humans had ever seen. The mission was simple in words but dangerous in practice. He had to study the planet, its life, and most importantly, its sentient species. Rumors of an intelligent being that ruled the world had reached Earth, and humans had always been curious about the unknown. Liam was chosen not only for his skill as an explorer but for his calm nature and ability to think clearly under pressure. He had always believed that fear should never stop a person from doing what was right. As Liam moved cautiously through the shimmering forest, he noticed the ground was soft and warm under his feet. Small creatures with glowing eyes peeked from behind the trees, studying him silently. None of them seemed dangerous, but Liam kept his hand near his sidearm. He had learned long ago that caution was as important as courage. Suddenly, the forest opened into a clearing. In the center of the clearing stood a figure that made Liam stop in his tracks. She was enormous, taller than any human, with a body that shimmered like liquid metal. Her skin reflected the colors around her, making it hard to focus on one detail. 2 luminous eyes studied him carefully, and long, graceful appendages moved in a way that was both alien and elegant. Liam swallowed hard. His training told him to remain calm, but even he could not hide his awe. "I am Commander Liam of the Human Exploration Team," he said clearly. "I come in peace." The figure tilted her head slightly, and her eyes softened. "I am Nira," she said. Her voice was not harsh or loud. It was gentle, with a sound that reminded Liam of wind through the trees. "You are human. I have seen your kind in stories, but never so close." Liam smiled gently, trying to show respect and warmth. "Stories often make humans seem bigger or braver than we really are," he replied. "I am just a visitor, like you may be with me." Nira's gaze lowered, and her shimmering form seemed to lose some of its brightness. "I am ugly, human," she said quietly. There was no anger in her voice, only sadness. "My people see me as a ruler, but I feel flawed. I see only my mistakes, my weaknesses, my appearance." Liam took a small step forward, careful not to frighten her. He had faced dangerous creatures before, but never one that was so open about vulnerability. "I do not see ugliness," he said honestly. "I see someone strong, someone wise, someone who carries her people with care. You are different, but difference is not weakness." Nira tilted her head, studying him. There was something in his gentle smile that made her pause. For centuries, she had ruled without question, her subjects respecting her because they had to. She had never experienced someone seeing her as more than her power, more than her title. Liam's words were small, but they reached a part of her that she had long ignored. "I do not understand your kind fully," Nira admitted. "Humans are small, fragile, and yet you speak as if you see the soul, not the shell." "That is because the soul matters most," Liam replied. "Appearance is easy to judge, but actions, courage, and heart, these define who we are. You lead because you care, not because you are perfect. That is what makes you strong." Nira considered his words. She had spent many cycles watching others, ruling her people, maintaining order. Strength to her had always meant power, size, fear. But Liam's quiet smile challenged everything she had known. Perhaps there was more to being strong than she realized. For a long moment, silence passed between them. Birds with crystalline wings fluttered in the air, and a soft hum echoed from the forest. Liam noticed the small details, the way sunlight scattered on Nira's skin, the delicate patterns on her scales, the gentle sway of her appendages. There was beauty here, even if she could not see it. "You see something I cannot," Nira whispered. "I do not know if I can believe it." "You will, in time," Liam said softly. "Sometimes it takes only a moment, a smile, to start seeing ourselves differently." He extended his hand slightly, not as a gesture of command, but of trust. "May I walk with you?" Nira's eyes reflected a soft light, almost like the first stars appearing in a night sky. Slowly, she moved closer, and for the first time, her posture was not rigid. She was curious, cautious, but willing to take a small risk. Liam felt a quiet joy. Trust was rare, especially with beings who had ruled for centuries, but it was possible. They began walking together through the forest. Liam noticed how Nira moved with grace despite her size. Every step was careful, measured, yet filled with confidence. The alien world seemed less intimidating with her nearby. Small creatures no longer scurried away, instead, they paused and watched as if they were aware something unusual was unfolding. "Why do you come to Zarathea?" Nira asked after a while. "Your kind does not often risk the unknown without purpose." "To learn, to understand, and to share," Liam said. "Humans believe that knowing is the first step to harmony. We do not always succeed, but we try. I came here because I hope to meet you, to see your world through your eyes." Nira's gaze softened further. "Few have spoken so honestly to me. Most see only the crown, the title, or the power. You see me. And you are worth seeing," Liam replied gently. His smile remained calm, reassuring. "You are not defined by what you think is ugly. You are defined by what you do, by the care you show, by the courage you carry inside." Nira felt a strange warmth she had never known. Perhaps humans were fragile, but they carried something she had never expected: gentle courage. She did not need to hide behind scales, titles, or fear. Liam's presence made her feel seen, truly seen, for the first time. As the suns shifted in the sky, casting longer shadows on the forest floor, Liam and Nira walked deeper into the heart of Zarathea. The first encounter was over, but a connection had begun, one that could change both human and alien forever. Liam walked beside Nira as the forest of Zarathea stretched endlessly around them. The silver leaves of the trees shimmered in the sunlight, and strange flowers opened their petals as if to greet them. Liam noticed small creatures darting in and out of the foliage, watching silently. He had never seen animals behave like this before. They seemed to sense the presence of someone who meant no harm. Nira led him to a clearing where the ground was covered in soft moss. In the center was a pool of crystal clear water. The water reflected the green sky above and the golden light of the three suns. Nira stopped at the edge of the pool and looked at her reflection. "You humans care for appearances too much," she said quietly. "You look in mirrors, in shiny surfaces, and judge yourselves. I do not need mirrors to know my flaws." Liam crouched near the water and dipped his hand in. The cool liquid rippled gently. "Humans do care about looks," he admitted, "but we also know there is more than what we see. Strength, kindness, patience, these cannot be measured by appearances. You have all of them." Nira studied him closely. "You are calm, even though you are small. Your species is fragile, yet you speak as though you are unafraid. I am careful, not unafraid, Liam replied. Being careful does not mean weakness. It means understanding the world and knowing how to act wisely. Nira tilted her head and regarded him thoughtfully. Perhaps that is why I feel safe with you. Others would demand respect or fear. You give respect without asking, and yet you are not afraid. They sat together near the pool. Liam told Nira about his home planet, Earth, and the oceans, mountains, and cities humans had built. He spoke of human curiosity, their desire to explore, and the mistakes they had made in the process. Nira listened silently, absorbing every word. To her, humans had always seemed fragile, incapable of surviving on a planet like Zarathea. Now she realized their minds and hearts were strong in ways she had never expected. You are brave to travel so far from your home, Nira said finally. Most humans would fear the unknown. You embrace it? Liam smiled gently. We embrace it because we must. Fear can teach lessons, but courage allows growth. You lead your people, Nira, yet you carry your own fears. That is why I can understand you. Strength is not absence of fear. Strength is facing it and moving forward. Nira was silent for a long time. She had always thought that ruling meant showing no fear, hiding every doubt. Now, sitting with Liam, she understood that courage could be quiet. It could be gentle, like his smile, not loud or commanding. Perhaps this was what she had been missing all along. Suddenly, movement in the trees caught their attention. Small Zarathian creatures with glowing eyes approached cautiously. They were not aggressive, but they were curious. Nira's eyes softened as she watched them. They are cautious, she said. Like you, human. They feel your intentions. They are wise, Liam replied. Sometimes the smallest beings teach us the greatest lessons. They remind us to be careful, to observe, to think before acting. Nira nodded slowly. I have watched my people for centuries. I have ruled with command and order. Perhaps I have forgotten to observe, to understand. You remind me of this, human. Liam chuckled softly. Perhaps we remind each other. You teach me about courage in leadership, and I teach you about gentle trust. For hours, they walked together through the forest. Liam noticed the subtle ways Nira interacted with her world. She did not just walk, she measured each step, aware of every sound, every movement. She spoke to the creatures, and they responded with small, curious gestures. He realized that leadership was not just about power, it was about connection. Nira's people respected her because she cared deeply, even if she did not always see her own worth. As they moved, Liam asked, May I see where your people live? Nira considered for a moment. It is not common for outsiders to enter. They may fear you, or they may not understand you. But I trust you, human. Come. They approached a hill that opened into a large valley. The valley was filled with structures that seemed grown rather than built. Tall, organic towers spiraled like trees, and bridges of shimmering material connected them. Nira's people moved gracefully, attending to tasks, caring for young, and studying plants and creatures. They were unlike anything Liam had ever seen, blending strength, intelligence, and beauty in every action. Nira spoke softly to her people, introducing Liam without ceremony. This is Liam. He comes from a distant world. He means no harm. The Zarathians paused to observe him. Some were curious, others cautious. A few studied him silently. Liam bowed slightly, a gesture of respect he had learned was universal. "I am honored to meet you," he said. "I wish only to learn and to share." Slowly, the tension eased. A few of the Zerathians approached Liam, observing him closely. He showed them small gestures of kindness, offering water and touching the ground gently. Nero watched with a small, thoughtful smile. Trust was being built, step by step, as humans and Zerathians learned to understand each other. As the suns began to descend, painting the sky in shades of amber and green, Nero led Liam to a high platform that overlooked the valley. "From here, you can see my people," she said. "I watch them from above to ensure safety and order. It is a lonely task, yet necessary. Few understand the weight of responsibility." Liam nodded. "Leadership is never easy. But your care for them is clear. Strength is not in domination, but in protection. You are brave, Nira, even if you do not see it." Her eyes softened. "You make me question what I believed. Perhaps strength can be quiet, gentle, and kind. Perhaps there is more to leadership than power and fear." Liam smiled. "There is. And you carry it well. You may not see it, but your people do. And now, I see it too." The three suns dipped lower, casting long shadows across the valley. Liam and Nira stood side by side, looking over the world she had ruled for centuries. In that moment, trust began to grow, not from command, not from power, but from understanding, patience, and gentle courage. For the first time, Nira felt a strange hope. Perhaps humans could teach her as much as she could teach them. Perhaps the bond forming between them could change both their worlds. And so, as night slowly fell over Zarathia, Liam and Nira remained on the platform, silent but connected. The first step toward friendship, trust, and understanding had been taken. Both knew that challenges awaited, but for now, they simply observed, learning from one another and from the quiet strength that existed in courage and gentle hearts. The calm of Zarathia was broken one morning when the sky above the valley darkened unnaturally. Liam was walking with Nira near a grove of tall silver trees when a shadow passed over them. He stopped and looked up. Three massive ships, unlike anything he had seen before, hung in the sky. Their metal hulls reflected the greenish light of the suns, and they moved silently, casting long shadows across the forest. Nira stiffened. Her luminous eyes narrowed, and her body tensed. "They are the Varati," she said quietly. "They have come for our resources. My people have fought them before, and we barely survived." Liam studied the ships carefully. "They are advanced," he said. "But we can find a way to protect this world. You have powerful beings here, and humans have tactics that may help." Nira shook her head. "The Varati are cruel and cunning. They will not hesitate to destroy anyone in their path. My forces are strong, but we lack the strategy to face such enemies." Liam stepped closer to her. "Then we combine our strengths. Your people have power, skill, and knowledge of the land. Humans have strategy, teamwork, and the ability to think differently under pressure. Together, we can defend Zarathia." Nira studied him carefully. His confidence was quiet, not boastful. There was no fear in his voice, only determination. She had ruled for centuries, and yet she felt hope she had not known before. "You would help my people?" she asked. "Of course," Liam replied. "We may be different, but courage and kindness are universal. I will help you prepare." Nira turned and sent a signal that rippled through the forest. Soon, Zerathians began to gather, their luminous forms moving gracefully toward the valley. Some wielded weapons of energy, others relied on natural abilities to defend the land. They looked to their queen, then to Liam, as if asking silently for guidance. Liam addressed them calmly. We face a threat from the Varati. They may be strong, but strength alone does not win battles. We will use strategy, intelligence, and teamwork. Watch each other, protect each other, and trust in your courage. The Zirathians murmured among themselves. Some were cautious, unsure of trusting a human. Others glanced at Nira, seeing her calm expression and sensing her growing trust in Liam. Slowly, they began to follow his instructions. Liam moved among them, observing their abilities. Some could manipulate light, creating barriers and illusions. Others could control plants, using vines and roots as both weapons and shields. Liam took careful notes, thinking of ways to combine their abilities with human tactics. We can create traps, camouflage our movements, and divide the Varati forces, he explained. Strength is important, but surprise and teamwork will give us the advantage. Nira watched him closely, admiration growing. She had ruled with order and power, but Liam's ideas were different. He taught patience, careful observation, and thinking ahead. For the first time, she felt that her people could fight not only with strength but with intelligence. Hours passed as they trained and planned. Liam demonstrated human combat techniques, adapted for Zirathian abilities. He encouraged each warrior, praising small successes and correcting mistakes gently. Nira joined him, learning how to coordinate her people in new ways. Together, they began to create a defensive strategy that combined the best of both worlds. As evening fell, a scout Zirathian returned from the edge of the forest, wings shimmering in the fading light. They are landing soon, the scout warned. The Varati will strike before the sun's rise. Liam nodded. Then we must be ready. Position your forces along the ridges and valleys. Use the terrain to your advantage. Remember, courage is not absence of fear, but acting despite it. Nira's luminous eyes reflected the three suns as she nodded. I will lead from the front. My people will follow me. Together, we will stand. That night, the Varati ships hovered silently above the valley. Their shadows stretched across the ground, and strange lights scanned the forest. Liam and Nira moved among the Zirathians, reassuring them and helping them take positions. Though fear was present, a sense of determination also grew. Liam's calm presence gave courage, and Nira's leadership inspired trust. As the first Varati scout descended, a small metallic craft that moved faster than the eye could follow, Liam signaled the Zirathians. Using light and plant manipulation, they created barriers and illusions that confused the enemy. The scout crashed into the trees, unable to navigate the traps. Zirathians cheered quietly, encouraged by the success. Nira's eyes met Liam's. She felt a warmth she had never experienced in battle before. Your methods are strange, human, she said softly, but effective. You give my people hope. You already have hope, Liam replied with a gentle smile. I only help you see it. Courage grows when someone believes in it, even quietly. The Varati forces began their main attack just before dawn. Massive ships descended, firing beams that scorched the ground. Zirathians leapt into action, their abilities forming barriers, shields, and counterattacks. Liam coordinated from the center, signaling when to move, when to strike, and when to retreat. His strategies were precise, combining human planning with alien strength. Nira led from the front, her presence inspiring her people. She moved gracefully, using her powers to protect warriors, redirect attacks, and rally her forces. She realized that fear had not left her, but courage was stronger. Liam's gentle smile, his calm words, reminded her that even in danger, hope could exist. Hours passed in a tense battle. The Vorati were relentless, but Zerathians, guided by Liam, began to understand the value of planning and teamwork. Small victories grew, boosting morale. Liam's strategies turned potential disaster into manageable skirmishes. Nira's leadership, combined with human guidance, allowed her people to fight with confidence they had never known. Finally, as the first sun of the day rose, the Vorati were forced to retreat. Their ships ascended rapidly, damaged and confused by the combined strength of humans and Zerathians. The valley was quiet once more, the forest scarred but alive. Zerathians gathered around Nira and Liam, exhausted but victorious. Nira looked at Liam with a new understanding. "You were right, human," she said softly. "Strength alone does not win battles. Courage, strategy, and trust are just as important. Today, you have taught my people a lesson we will never forget." Liam smiled gently. "You and your people taught me too, Nira. You showed bravery, loyalty, and the power of unity. Together, anything can be achieved." As the suns rose higher, casting golden light across Zarathia, Nira felt a strange sense of peace. She had faced fear, uncertainty, and doubt, yet had come through stronger. Liam's calm presence, his gentle courage, had been a guiding light. She knew challenges would come again, but for now, she had learned the value of trust, cooperation, and hope. The first battle was won, but it was also the beginning of a deeper bond between human and alien. Zarathia had survived the threat, not because of power alone, but because of courage, intelligence, and the gentle trust that had grown between two very different beings. The morning after the battle, Zarathia was quiet, but the air was tense. Liam and Nira walked through the valley, observing the aftermath. Trees had been scorched, and small craters marked the land where the Vorati had struck. The Zerathians moved among the damage, repairing their homes and tending to the injured. Their determination impressed Liam. Despite fear and loss, they worked together without complaint. Nira's eyes reflected a mixture of pride and concern. "They recover quickly," she said. "Yet I fear the Vorati will return. We must be stronger, smarter, and united." Liam nodded. "That is why we must train. Not only for defense but for understanding each other's abilities. When humans and Zerathians work together, we can face anything." They walked to a wide plateau that overlooked the valley. Liam had suggested this spot for training. The space allowed Zerathians to practice their powers without harming the forest, and it gave Liam a chance to teach new strategies. "Today, we will combine your skills with human tactics," Liam explained. "Strength alone is not enough. We will use speed, timing, and coordination to gain advantage in any situation." Nira watched as he demonstrated a simple human exercise adapted for Zerathian abilities. Small groups of Zerathians moved in coordinated patterns, learning to anticipate each other's actions. Liam encouraged them gently, pointing out improvements and celebrating successes. "You are patient, human," Nira said softly. "I have ruled for centuries, yet I have never taught like this. My people fear mistakes, but you encourage learning." "Fear limits potential," Liam replied. "Mistakes are lessons, not failures. Courage grows when one dares to try." Hours passed as Zerathians learned to combine their powers. Some could manipulate energy, creating barriers and shields. Liam showed them how to position these barriers to protect others. Some controlled plants, weaving vines and roots to trap enemies or form safe paths. Liam guided them, blending these abilities with human planning. Nira joined in, her movements graceful and precise. She led groups, showing them how to anticipate attacks and support each other. Her people responded with growing confidence. Liam noticed that the more they trusted her, the more effective they became. Leadership, he realized, was not only about giving orders but inspiring belief in others. During a break, Liam and Nira sat by a small stream that ran through the plateau. Water sparkled in the sunlight, and the soft sound of flowing water was calming. "You have changed how I see my people," Nira said quietly. "They are stronger than I knew, yet I had limited them with my fears." "You inspire them," Liam said. "Your care gives them courage. I only help them see it." Strength is not only what we possess but what we allow others to see in themselves. Nero looked at him, her eyes reflecting curiosity and admiration. "You see more than what is obvious, human. You see the heart, the courage, the potential. Perhaps this is why I trust you." Liam smiled gently. "Trust is earned through actions and respect. You have earned mine too, Nira. We may be different, but together we are stronger." Their conversation was interrupted by a small group of young Zerathians practicing combat. Liam watched them carefully. They moved with raw energy, but lacked focus. "Focus is the key," he said. "Energy alone cannot win battles. Coordination and planning matter." Nira stepped forward. "Let me show them," she said. Her luminous form glowed softly in the morning light. She demonstrated a series of movements that combined defense and attack. The young Zerathians watched closely and then tried to imitate her. With Liam's guidance, their movements became more precise, more confident. As the day progressed, Liam introduced new tactics. They practiced ambushes, defensive formations, and rapid responses to unexpected threats. Zerathians who had once doubted their own strength now moved with confidence. Liam encouraged them gently, celebrating small victories and correcting mistakes without criticism. Nira observed silently at first, then joined in, coordinating larger groups. She realized that leadership was not only about power but about guiding, teaching, and inspiring others. Liam's methods showed her that patience, encouragement, and understanding could achieve more than commands alone. By evening, the Zerathians had transformed. They were not only strong but confident, united, and coordinated. Liam and Nira stood together, overlooking the valley from the plateau. "You have done more than I imagined, human," Nira said softly. "My people trust themselves and each other. They trust me. You have shown them strength through guidance, not fear." "And you have shown me something too," Liam replied. "Courage is not always loud or flashy. It can be quiet, steady, and gentle. Your leadership proves that." Nira smiled, a soft glow in her eyes. For the first time in centuries, she felt proud of herself not for power, but for her ability to inspire. Liam's gentle smile had shown her that true strength was not only in abilities or appearance, but in heart and action. As the sun set, casting a warm golden light across Zerathia, Liam and Nira returned to the valley. The Zerathians gathered, sharing stories of the day, practicing their abilities, and strengthening bonds. Their laughter and energy filled the air, a sign that hope and confidence had taken root. Nira turned to Liam. "Tomorrow, we will prepare for the Varati if they return. We are stronger, but we cannot be careless." "You are right," Liam said. Strength is built through preparation, practice, and trust. Today, we have taken another step toward protecting Zerathia. For the first time, Nero felt a calm certainty. With Liam's guidance and her people's courage, she knew they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. She had learned that leadership was not about being perfect, but about inspiring belief in others and trusting in their potential. Liam looked at her, his gentle smile reassuring. "Together, we can face anything," he said. "We have shared strength, and that is more powerful than fear or doubt." Nira nodded. "And I will remember this, human. Your presence has changed me, and I will not forget your lessons." As night fell over Zerathia, the valley was quiet but alive with a renewed sense of purpose. Liam and Nira stood side by side, looking at the stars beginning to appear in the green sky. They knew challenges awaited, but for now, they had discovered something more important than power, trust, courage, and shared strength. The morning air was tense. Liam stood at the edge of the plateau, looking at the horizon where the sky shimmered with the approaching Vorati ships. Their metallic forms moved like shadows, silent but deadly. The three suns cast long beams across the valley, reflecting off the ships and making them appear larger than life. Nira stood beside him, her luminous eyes scanning the horizon. Her body was poised, ready to lead. The Zerathians gathered behind her, their confidence strengthened by the training and strategies they had learned from Liam. There was no fear in their movements, only determination. "They are coming," Nira said softly. "Remember everything we have practiced. Protect the valley and each other. Courage and strategy will guide us." Liam nodded. "We fight together. Strength is in unity, and patience is our weapon. Trust in your abilities, and trust in each other." As the Vorati ships descended, firing energy beams toward the valley, the Zerathians moved into formation. Energy barriers rose, shimmering with light, while plant manipulators created walls and traps from vines and roots. Liam coordinated movements, signaling which groups would engage, which would defend, and which would flank the enemy. Nero led the front line, her movements swift and precise. She redirected energy beams, protecting Zerathians who were caught off guard. Her luminous form glowed brightly as she struck with controlled force, never wasting energy, guiding her people with calm determination. The Vorati were relentless. Their ships fired continuously, and some troops landed on the ground, moving quickly to attack. Liam adjusted the strategy on the spot, moving groups to stronger positions and combining their abilities for maximum effect. The humans' approach of patience and planning blended with Zerathian strength perfectly. "You are doing well," Liam said to Nira quietly as they moved through the battlefield. "Focus on guiding, not just fighting. Your people look to you. They will follow your confidence." Nira nodded. "I feel it too, human. My fear is still present, but courage grows stronger. Your smile reminds me to lead with calm, not anger." Together, they created a rhythm in battle. Zerathians attacked, retreated, and defended in patterns Liam had taught. Each success built confidence, each small victory encouraging the next. The Vorati were strong, but they had not expected coordinated resistance. A group of young Zerathians hesitated when a Vorati soldier approached. Liam signaled them to move to the left while Nira used her powers to block the enemy. The young fighters followed, and the Vorati were caught in a trap of vines and energy barriers. Liam and Nira watched silently as the Zerathians executed the plan flawlessly. "This is remarkable," Nira whispered. "They trust themselves and each other. They are brave." Liam smiled gently. "Courage is contagious. When one believes, others follow. You have inspired them. The battle intensified as Varadi ships landed more troops. Liam guided attacks carefully, avoiding reckless moves. He combined human tactical thinking with Zerathian powers, creating ambushes and defensive zones. Nero led the strongest units, striking precisely where the enemy was weakest, her calm presence keeping morale high. During a critical moment, a Varadi commander approached, massive and imposing. Zerathians froze at the sight, unsure how to respond. Liam stepped forward, signaling them to hold. "Focus on teamwork," he said. "Do not let fear control you. We face him together." Nira raised her hands, glowing with power, and moved toward the enemy commander. She did not strike recklessly. Instead, she redirected his attacks, creating openings for her people. Liam coordinated from the rear, guiding groups to take advantage of the openings she created. Slowly, the Varadi commander was pushed back, unable to break the unity of Zerathians and humans. The tide of battle turned. Varadi troops began to retreat, confused by the precise coordination and unexpected strategies. Liam's calm presence allowed Zerathians to fight with confidence, and Nira's leadership gave them courage. Together, they forced the Varadi to abandon the valley temporarily. As the Varadi ships rose into the sky and disappeared over the horizon, the valley grew quiet. Zerathians cheered softly, exhausted but victorious. The landscape bore marks of the battle, yet life continued to thrive. The people had faced a formidable enemy and survived, not only through strength but through unity, courage, and strategy. Nira turned to Liam, her eyes reflecting both relief and admiration. "You were right, human. Strength alone cannot protect us. Courage, teamwork, and strategy matter just as much. Today, we have learned this lesson together." "And you have inspired me," Liam replied. "You led with patience, intelligence, and care. You showed that leadership is not about fear or control, but guiding others to find their own courage." Nero looked at her people, moving among the wounded and helping them regain their energy. She realized that her perception of herself had changed. Her body, which she once thought flawed, had carried her people through battle. Her decisions had saved lives. Liam's gentle smile had reminded her that true strength was not in appearance but in action and heart. The suns climbed higher, casting warm light over the valley. Liam and Nero walked among the Zerathians, helping tend to minor injuries and offering encouragement. The bond between human and alien had grown stronger, not only in words but through shared experience and courage. "You have given them hope," Nero said quietly as they paused on the plateau again. "And hope is more powerful than any weapon." "Hope and unity," Liam added. "When beings trust each other and work together, no enemy can easily defeat them. Today, your people learn to believe in themselves, and that is worth more than victory alone." Nira smiled, finally seeing herself differently. She had always ruled as a figure of authority, but now she understood the power of guidance, empathy, and gentle courage. Liam's presence had changed her perspective, and the bond between them was no longer just mutual respect, it was trust, understanding, and a shared sense of purpose. As the day ended and the suns began to set, the valley was quiet again, but this time with a feeling of triumph. The battle had tested courage, strategy, and unity. Zarathia had survived, not because of brute strength alone, but because humans and Zerathians had fought together with respect, patience, and trust. Liam and Nira stood side by side, overlooking the valley. "We must prepare for the future," Liam said gently. "The Varadi may return, stronger than before. But we now know we can face them together. Nira nodded, her luminous eyes shining in the last light of the suns. Together, she agreed. We are stronger, not because of size or power, but because of courage, heart, and trust. And in that moment, Zarathia's valley was not just a place of victory, but a symbol of what could be achieved when beings from different worlds worked together. Humans and Zarathians had learned to trust, to fight with patience, and to lead with courage. The first great battle was over, but the bond between Liam and Nira, and the trust of the Zarathians, would guide them in all challenges to come. The battle had ended, but Zarathia was not yet calm. Smoke rose from the forests where Varati attacks had scarred the land, and small fires glimmered in the shadows. The valley was quiet, but the Zarathians moved with purpose, repairing homes, tending to injured creatures, and restoring the balance of their world. Liam walked beside Nira, observing the recovery efforts. "Your people are remarkable," he said softly. "Even after the attack, they rebuild. They do not falter. They trust each other and trust you." Nira nodded, her eyes reflecting both pride and uncertainty. "I have ruled for many cycles," she said quietly. "I have always thought my strength came from power. I believed my people obeyed because of fear, because of what I could do. But now, I see that they follow me because I care, because I guide them, and because I trust them." Liam smiled gently. "True leadership comes from the heart, not just strength. You have courage, intelligence, and kindness. These are what inspire your people. That is what makes you strong." Nira considered his words carefully. She had always looked at herself through the lens of imperfection. Her luminous body, her scales, her towering form, she thought of them as flaws. But Liam's gentle smile, his steady words, challenged that belief. For the first time, she began to see herself through different eyes. "Even you, human, believe in me?" she asked softly, almost afraid of the answer. "I do," Liam replied without hesitation. "I see your courage, your wisdom, and your care. You are not defined by what you think is ugly. You are defined by your actions and your heart." Nira took a deep breath. The words settled inside her, comforting yet unfamiliar. She had spent centuries doubting herself, questioning her worth, and now she realized that worth was not in appearances but in deeds. Liam's presence had shown her that she could lead with strength and gentleness at the same time. They walked toward the center of the valley, where the Zarathians were organizing a gathering. The people had begun to rebuild a large structure, a community hall of organic material that grew like a living tree. Children played nearby, their laughter echoing through the valley. Adults worked together, sharing tasks, supporting one another. The sight warmed Nira's heart. "You see this?" Liam asked quietly. "This is what your leadership has done. They are united, strong, and confident. You help them find courage, and they will follow you because of it." Nira watched her people, noticing details she had never focused on before: the way they shared tools, the gentle gestures of encouragement, the quiet respect they had for one another. She realized that her role was not to control, but to guide, to inspire belief in themselves. Her people's strength reflected her own, and yet it was something she had always overlooked. "I have thought myself unworthy," she admitted. "Ugly, flawed, weak in ways I cannot measure. But today I see something different. Perhaps my worth is not in perfection, but in the courage I show, in the care I give, in the hope I inspire." Liam smiled, his gentle presence steadying her. "That is exactly right, Nira. Courage is not the absence of fear. Strength is not perfection. True power comes from heart, action, and trust. You embody all of these. Nira felt a warmth she had not known before. It was more than pride or relief. It was a sense of understanding, a recognition of herself not as she feared she was, but as she truly was. She had guided her people through a battle, inspired them to act with courage, and now she realized that she had inspired herself as well. As the suns shifted in the sky, Liam led Nira to a quiet hill overlooking the valley. From this vantage point, she could see the full scope of her people, working together, rebuilding, and celebrating small victories. She felt a sense of peace and hope she had never experienced in her long life. "You have changed my perspective, human," she said softly. "I no longer see only flaws and fear. I see potential, courage, and strength. You have shown me what I could not see in myself." "And you have changed mine," Liam replied. "I came here to observe and understand, but you taught me something too. You taught me that true courage is gentle, that leadership is not about fear, and that trust can be stronger than any weapon." Nero looked at him, her eyes reflecting gratitude and admiration. "Your smile, your calm presence, it is more powerful than any attack. It gives hope, even when the world seems dark." "And your actions give hope," Liam said. "You led with care, intelligence, and courage. You inspired your people. That is far stronger than any appearance or size. Today, we fought not only enemies, but doubt and fear. And we won both." Nira nodded, a soft glow emanating from her form. For centuries, she had believed that power and fear were the foundations of strength. Now she understood that courage, empathy, and trust were far more enduring. She felt a deep connection to Liam, not only because of his guidance but because of his ability to see her truth and remind her of it. They remained on the hill, watching as the valley came alive with movement, laughter, and rebuilding. Children played freely, adults collaborated, and life continued. Nira realized that she had not only protected her people but had strengthened them in ways she had never imagined. Their trust, their courage, and their unity were proof of her leadership and the lessons she had learned. "I have lived for many cycles, yet I have never felt this," she said quietly. "I have ruled, but I have never truly understood what strength means until now. It is not fear or perfection. It is heart, courage, and trust. You showed me that, human." "And you showed me too," Liam replied. "Even beings who seem different from us can teach lessons that last forever. Your people, your courage, your wisdom, they are inspiring." Nira turned her gaze back to the valley, feeling a sense of clarity she had never known. She understood that her insecurities had been shadows, hiding her true abilities. Liam's gentle smile had been a guiding light, helping her recognize what she had always possessed: courage, intelligence, and the ability to inspire. The suns began to set, casting a golden light over Zarathia. The valley was alive with recovery and hope. Nira felt a quiet strength within her, a sense of purpose that went beyond fear or doubt. She had learned that true beauty was in courage, in empathy, in action. She had learned to trust herself as well as others. Liam stood beside her, his presence steady and reassuring. "The future will bring challenges," he said gently. "But today, we have seen what courage, trust, and unity can achieve. Remember this moment." Nira smiled softly, feeling a profound sense of peace. "I will remember," she said. "And I will lead with heart, not fear. I will guide my people with courage, and I will trust myself as much as I trust them." As night fell over Zarathia, the stars began to shine in the green sky. Nira and Liam remained on the hill, side by side, reflecting on the lessons of the day. Both had learned something invaluable, that strength is not in appearance or power alone, but in courage, empathy, and trust. And both knew that the bond forming between them would guide them through the trials yet to come. For the first time, Nira felt whole, not because she was perfect, but because she had discovered her true strength. Liam's gentle smile had been the key, and she would carry that lesson with her forever. The night was calm, but the valley held a quiet tension. The Vorati might return, stronger than before. Nira and Liam stood atop the plateau, overlooking the recovering land. The forests were slowly healing, the scars from battle fading as the Zirathians worked together to restore balance. Fires were extinguished, and injured creatures were cared for. Hope had returned to Zarathia. "We cannot be complacent," Nira said softly. "The Vorati may strike again. We must be ready, but we must also protect our people with wisdom, not only force." Liam nodded. "Preparation is key. We have the skills, the courage, and the unity. Together, humans and Zirathians can face anything. Strategy, patience, and trust will guide us." Over the next few days, training intensified. Liam and Nira worked closely, combining Zirathian abilities with human tactics. Groups practiced coordinated movements, energy barriers were perfected, and plant manipulators learned to create traps with precision. Each exercise strengthened the bond between Liam and the Zirathians, and among the Zirathians themselves. Confidence and courage grew, and the valley seemed alive with renewed determination. During a quiet moment, Nira and Liam walked through a restored forest. Small creatures peered from behind trees, their glowing eyes curious but calm. Nira stopped by a stream, watching the water ripple gently in the light of the three suns. "You have changed so much, Nira," Liam said softly. "Your people trust themselves and each other. You have learned to trust yourself. That is the greatest strength of all." Nira smiled, her luminous eyes reflecting both the sun's and her own reflection. "I once believed strength was only power, only control. But now I know courage, empathy, and guidance are far more important. You have shown me that, human. And you have shown me something too," Liam replied. "True courage is quiet, patient, and persistent. It does not demand attention, but it inspires. You lead with heart, and that is something I will never forget." Suddenly, the sky shifted. Shadows appeared again on the horizon. The Vorati had returned. Their ships moved like dark storms across the green sky. The sounds of engines and energy pulses echoed through the valley. Zirathians immediately took their positions, guided by Nira's calm presence and Liam's strategic planning. "This is it," Nira said quietly. "We face them together. Remember everything we practiced. Trust your abilities and trust each other." Liam nodded. "We are ready. Strength is not in fighting alone but in unity, strategy, and courage." As the Vorati ships descended, the valley erupted with movement. Zirathians used energy barriers to block attacks, vines and roots to trap enemies, and illusions to confuse the invaders. Liam coordinated movements, signaling when to strike and when to retreat. Every group acted with precision, following the combined strategy they had learned. Nira led the front line, her presence radiant and commanding. She moved gracefully, protecting her people and striking when opportunities appeared. Her confidence inspired every Zirathian nearby. Young fighters who had once hesitated now acted decisively, their courage evident in every movement. The Vorati commander appeared again, larger and more imposing than before. His troops advanced fiercely, but Liam had anticipated the attack. Using terrain and Zerathian powers, they created a trap. Energy barriers funneled the Varati into narrow valleys, where vines and roots immobilized them. The coordinated attacks were precise, powerful, and efficient. Nero faced the commander directly, her luminous form glowing with determination. She did not attack recklessly. Instead, she used her abilities to redirect his energy, weaken his position, and protect her people. Liam guided other groups, ensuring every Zerathian acted in unison. Slowly, the commander was forced to retreat, unable to overcome the unity and strategy of his opponents. Victory began to feel certain. The Varati ships, damaged and confused, began to rise into the sky. Retreat was their only option. Liam and Nero watched as the last of the enemy ships disappeared over the horizon. Zerathians cheered softly, their exhaustion mingled with relief and triumph. Nero turned to Liam, her eyes bright. "We did it, human. Together, we have protected Zerathia and shown our people the strength of courage, unity, and trust." Liam smiled gently. "You led them brilliantly. You inspired confidence, and your people followed. That is the true measure of strength." As the suns rose higher, casting golden light across the valley, Nera and Liam walked among the Zerathians, helping tend to minor injuries and encouraging the exhausted fighters. Children played again, their laughter echoing through the valley. Adults shared tools and stories, rebuilding with renewed determination. The energy of hope and unity filled the air. "You have taught me so much, human," Nera said quietly. "I have learned that strength is not only in power but in heart, courage, and guidance. I have learned to trust myself, and to inspire trust in others. I feel whole, for the first time in cycles." "And you have taught me too," Liam replied. "I came here to observe and help, but you showed me the courage, wisdom, and care of your people. You taught me that leadership is about inspiring belief and trust, not just commanding." Nera's luminous form glowed softly in the morning light. She realized that the insecurities she had carried for centuries, the belief that she was flawed, weak, or unworthy, no longer controlled her. Liam's gentle presence had been a guiding light, helping her recognize her true strength. Together, they walked to the plateau again, overlooking the valley. The land was still scarred from battle, but life had returned. Zerathians moved with confidence, strength, and hope. The bond between humans and Zerathians had grown deeper, a connection forged through shared courage and trust. "This is only the beginning," Nera said. "We will continue to prepare, to guide, and to protect. Zerathia will thrive because we have learned what true strength means." Liam nodded. "And whatever challenges come, we face them together. Courage, unity, and heart will guide us. We have learned that strength is not in appearances or power alone, but in trust and action." As the sun set, casting warm light over the valley, Nera and Liam stood side by side. The stars began to appear in the green sky, shimmering like crystals. The horizon was calm, peaceful, and filled with promise. Zerathia had survived, not through fear or force alone, but through courage, strategy, and the bond between human and alien. Nero looked at Liam, her eyes reflecting gratitude and understanding. "You have changed my life, human. You have shown me courage, trust, and the value of heart. I will carry this lesson always." "And I will carry the lessons I learned from you," Liam replied gently. "Your courage, guidance, and care have inspired me. Together, we have faced the darkness and found strength we could not have discovered alone." The valley was quiet now, but full of life and hope. Zerathia's future was secure, built not only on power, but on courage, unity, and trust. Liam and Nira had formed a bond that would guide them through any challenge, human and alien standing side by side. As night fully fell, the stars twinkled over the valley, the three suns resting below the horizon. A new dawn would come, brighter and stronger than before. Zarathia had survived, and its people had learned that true strength was not in fear, not in perfection, but in courage, empathy, trust, and the gentle power of heart. Nira took a deep breath and smiled, finally seeing herself as she truly was, strong, capable, and worthy. Liam's gentle smile reflected her own inner strength. Together, they had changed their world, and together, they would guide it into a future of hope, courage, and unity. Zarathia was safe, and the dawn of a new era had begun.